Now at 9, community members gathered to identify historic buildings in Joplin's North Heights neighborhood.
Cash is king in the race for the White House. I'm Rebecca Castor in Washington with how the candidates' fundraising and spending stacks up.
Plus, Pittsburgh businesses are showing their spooky side for Halloween.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
Some Oklahomans are suing to prevent mandating Bibles in schools. This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. More than 30 Oklahomans have been named as plaintiffs in a lawsuit against the Oklahoma superintendent regarding his order to have the Bible as required material in every Oklahoma public school classroom. The suit was filed today in the Oklahoma Supreme Court. Last month, Superintendent Ryan Walters announced that $3 million in state funds would be used to purchase and supply 55,000 Bibles to Oklahoma schools. The plaintiffs are seeking a judgment stating that the Bible education mandate is invalid and unenforceable. The plaintiffs in the case include Oklahoma spiritual leaders, parents, and teachers. In response to the lawsuit, Walters stated on social media, in part, quote, "It is not possible for our students to understand the American history and culture without understanding the biblical principles from which they came. I will never back down to the woke mob, no matter what tactic they use to try to intimidate Oklahomans," end quote. You can see more of Walters' response and see the full petition and lawsuit on our website at KOAMnewsnow.com. Police identify and arrest a juvenile arrested of a hoax terrorist threat in Neosho, Missouri. Yesterday, Neosho police responded to the junior high to investigate a report of a terroristic threat. Detectives learned 2 juvenile males had taken a photograph of BB guns that was later edited and posted on social media by a separate 12-year-old juvenile female. Police say the photo indicated that a school shooting was to take place yesterday. Detectives determined that this incident was a hoax and no real threat existed. Authorities went on to say if this had been an adult, multiple charges would have been filed, including making a terrorist threat, first degree, which is a Class D felony, which carries up to 7 years in prison. Fire crews in Rogers, Arkansas continue to monitor a fire at what remains of a recycling business more than 24 hours after it began. The fire swept through Mark Industries Incorporated, a recycling center in the 3500 block of North Arkansas Street. Before sundown, the plume of fire could be seen from Neosho, nearly 40 miles away. At the height of the effort, nearly 20 crews had responded. Well, city officials and the Joplin Historic Preservation Commission members met tonight to discuss plans to survey Joplin's North Heights neighborhood. The goal to identify the area's historic buildings and sites and to make sure they are preserved. Over a 3-year period, inspectors will be visiting homes and structures to see if they fit the criteria.
Ultimately, the goal is to have the information needed from a preservationist point of view to nominate a National Registered District to National Historic Register.
According to the Joplin Historic Preservation Commission, preservation has proven to be a major contributor to tourism and economic development. Many historic districts have stabilized and some even increased property values as well. Well, Chief Meteorologist Doug Eddy joins us now with a first look at weather.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a nice one for us today. Still a cold start during the morning hours, 42 degrees, but 71 for a high, right where we should be for this time of the year. Record high is 88, set back in 1964. Let's go outside, sitting at 53 in Joplin, 53 in Pittsburgh. So it's cooling down, but not as cold tonight compared to what we have seen over the past couple nights. Down to 50 at Grand Lake, 57 in Parsons, 54 in Lamar. Monette sitting at 52. We still have those southerly winds. They're not as strong as what we saw earlier, but still going to be pretty breezy once again as we go into Friday. South winds gusting 15 to 20 miles per hour. Clear skies right now as we go through the night. We'll drop back into the mid-40s, back to 58 by 10 a.m. and warming up the next few days. We'll look at that here in a bit.
All right, thanks, Doug. The city of Pittsburgh is getting a facelift, and it's probably not the kind of facelift you're thinking of. Young artists from all over the community got the chance to paint local businesses with their favorite Halloween artwork. KOAM's Lonnie Walton takes us to the streets to see how residents are reacting.
An old Pittsburgh, downtown Pittsburgh tradition that we've revived this year. It hasn't happened in 10 to 15 years. Someone reached out to the Downtown Advisory Board and said, hey, we really missed this.
Sarah Runyon from the city of Pittsburgh says this Halloween window painting was something the city just could not live without.
Great time of the year to do something fun for the kids, but also I think downtown and the Pittsburgh community in general, they were just kind of itching to see this tradition come back to life. So it's been a huge response.
A local business owner from the restaurant BAM says it's a time for the community to engage.
We have an exciting downtown. We have a lot of new shops. We have a lot of activity down here, particularly this weekend, of course. It's a homecoming weekend.
Not only are the pictures nice to look at, they also can brighten up your day.
I mean, I was having a pretty bad day, and me and my friends were driving by and just seeing like the little beats of artwork, it's very personal. It's very, people put their time into it.
Oh, I think it's nice. It gives you something to look at. We were out walking, so it's something to look at.
Very festive for Halloween and intermixed with the gorilla red and gold.
It's more than just a display, it's a competition. Judges will choose winners that will receive prizes. In the meantime, the people of the community are all winners, getting to enjoy a little holiday spirit on display. Reporting in Pittsburgh, I'm Lonnie Walton, KOAM News.
The competition should be completed just in time for Saturday's PSU Homecoming Parade. Well, coming up, we look at a new federal safety standard aimed at preventing infant deaths. And later, the Christmas creep is here. Retailers are hoping consumers continue spending as the holiday discounting season gets underway. A large study finds weight loss drugs like Ozempic and Mounjaro could help with addictions. Researchers saw 40% fewer opioid overdoses and a 50% drop in alcohol intoxications among people who had a prescription compared to those who did not. This class of weight loss drugs may already treat or prevent diabetes, obesity, heart disease, stroke, and sleep apnea. The study spanned nearly 10 years and tracked health data for 1.3 million people. Though on CBS Mornings, CBS News contributor Dr. Celine Gounder said more research is needed before the FDA approves the drugs for addiction treatments.
Well, these drugs are working on the brain, and we don't know what the long-term effects of having this kind of hormone impacting your brain would be.
Other risks include cancer, pancreatitis, gallbladder, and kidney damage, as well as depression and suicidal thoughts. Women are more likely than men to die due to complications after a heart surgery. A study by the University of Michigan found while the rate of complications following an operation are the same among men and women, women were about 2% more likely to die from those complications. The authors say signs of heart attack and stroke are missed more often in women. Well, they are popular baby products, but when infant support cushions are not used correctly, they can be dangerous to infants, even deadly. And now for the first time, new federal safety standards will be placed on these products. In today's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither has more on the new rule and how officials hope it will help save lives.
The safest space for a baby to sleep is on a flat, bare surface. Placing products in a child's dedicated sleeping space can be dangerous, even deadly.
We're trying to prevent those deaths and injuries from occurring.
Between 2010 and 2022, the U.S. Consumer Product Safety Commission linked infant support cushions to 79 infant deaths and 124 injuries. Most were younger than 3 months old, and the CPSC says a majority of the deaths involve the cushion being placed in a sleep setting. The products include infant loungers, pillows for positioning, tummy time, nursing, and lounging, as well as stuffed toys, pads, and mats.
So important to make sure these products are only used while your baby is awake for tummy time activities and while the parent is aware and right there with the baby at all times.
In an effort to prevent these deaths and serious injuries, the CPSC has approved new federal mandatory standards aimed at reducing risk of suffocation, entrapment, and falls. The new rule will require products to undergo firmness testing and sidewall angle testing. The maximum incline angle will no longer be allowed to exceed 10 degrees. The use of infant restraints will also be prohibited, as officials say they give a false sense of safety for babies to be left unattended. And a strongly worded on-product warning label will now be required.
Make sure you have a product that meets those requirements.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
The new rule goes into effect in about 6 months. Well, Doug is next with a complete look at your forecast. And later, Pittsburgh State football previews its homecoming matchup with Fort Hays State. John Dales has that and more in sports.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a nice day for us today. Temperatures, they made it all the way up right around 70, 71 degrees, which is right where we should be for this time of the year. Look at this. Great shot, Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex Tower Cam. We're looking downtown Joplin off toward the north and to the east. All right, it's Thursday. Every Thursday, our new drought tracker comes out, and it keeps getting worse, because it hasn't rained. So, of course, it's going to keep getting worse. Extreme drought, really from Lamar through the metro, Monette, Table Rock, northwestern parts of Arkansas, all of northeastern Oklahoma. And then you jump into a severe and then a moderate drought. So, definitely, we need some rain. We don't really have any in the near future, unfortunately, but we do have a couple chances once we get into next week. All right, temperatures sitting mainly into the mid-50s. Right now, let's go outside. Currently, we are sitting at 53 southerly winds at about 5 to 10. It's going to stay a little bit on the breezy side tonight. South winds sustained 5 to 10, but gusts a little bit higher than that. And we'll see those winds pick up again, very similar to what we had today as we go into Friday afternoon. South winds kind of gusting 15 to 20 miles per hour. Stay up kind of on Saturday and then decrease a bit once we get into Saturday evening. So bottom line, kind of windy next couple days. Clear skies, not much going on across the entire Central Plains. We are watching our next storm system building out toward the west, and this is the one that could give us a little bit of rain once we get into Monday. Until then, not a whole bunch going on. We have high pressure in charge kind of blocking up this pattern a bit. Area of low pressure will slowly, and I mean slowly, kind of walk toward us as we go through the weekend, and then you can see it kind of kicks out into the Central Plains. Here's Monday, but it doesn't have a lot of moisture to work with. So as it passes by, a few showers, but that's it. But when we haven't had a single drop the entire month of October, a few showers would be kind of nice. Until then, we stay dry. All right, let's go through the overnight hours. Lower 40s during the morning hours. As we go through the morning into the noon hour, upper 60s. By the afternoon, we'll make it up right around 74, 75 degrees. So a few notches warmer than what we did see today. A few passing clouds for us tomorrow night into Saturday morning. And then Saturday looks great again. Partly sunny skies, high temps into the upper 70s. So we see that warming trend as we go through the next couple days. 46 in the morning, 67 by noon. High temp of 75 degrees. So it looks great tomorrow. 77 on Saturday, 79 on Sunday, and then those chances for rain late Monday night into Tuesday, but even warmer next week. So we've had some really nice temperatures the past few days, but warming back up.
Yeah, 80s. If we could stay in the 70s, that would be
yeah,
perfect.
It would
Doug.
be. It would.
It would be perfect. All right, thanks. Still to come, a theme park in Southwest Missouri announces a major expansion. But first, the latest holiday spending forecast.
Retailers are hoping consumers continue spending as the holiday discounting season begins. I'm Jerry Willis in New York. I'll have the details coming up.
Is on Fox.
The Federal Trade Commission issues what it calls the click-to-cancel rule, which requires businesses to make it as easy to cancel a subscription as it is to sign up. And companies will also have to get consent for auto renewal plans and free trials that automatically become paid memberships. Now, the rule will not take effect until 180 days after it's published in the Federal Registry. Well, a fresh read on the consumers with the September retail results as the Christmas creep is already in full effect. Fox Business correspondent Jerry Willis has the details.
Monthly retail sales showing a slight improvement over forecasts, but some analysts remain unimpressed. Listen.
So from my point of view, I don't think this is very good. You're going to see a lot of reports saying consumers still spending, consumers still spending. Keep in mind, they're spending inflated dollars. Inflation was 2.4%. Retail sales grew 1.7%. The consumer knows that's not a good thing.
Investors were looking for a 0.3% improvement over August, but the improvement was a slight beat of 0.4%. Ex autos, the monthly sales gain was 0.5%. Year over year, retail sales were higher by 1.7%. These numbers critical as the shortened holiday season begins. The National Retail Federation estimating sales overall rising 2.5% to 3.5%, with overall spending of nearly $990 billion. Data on the health of consumer wallets, pretty mixed. Big banks reporting this week that consumer spending is continuing at a healthy pace. But strains can be seen as inflation and high interest rates weigh on consumers. This morning, Bankrate releasing a new survey showing 37% of credit card holders have maxed out their credit cards or come close. And we saw the University of Michigan Consumer Sentiment Index fall unexpectedly in October. The reason? Not surprising, high prices. In New York, Jerry Willis, Fox Business.
A new study finds a third of common household products have shrunk in size, a practice known as shrinkflation. The analysis showed that household paper products had the highest rate of shrinkflation, followed by breakfast foods such as dry cereals, and then candy and snack foods. Though food and beverage giant PepsiCo says it plans to add 20% more product to its chips brands, including Tostitos and Ruffles. I'll believe that when I see it. Disney debuts its new Lightning Lane Premier Pass. We'll have details on the all-access Skip the Line plan after the break. Disney theme parks in California and Florida unveil a new, pricier pass to make skipping the line easier for a hefty fee. The Lightning Lane Premier Pass will let people skip the line for dozens of popular rides and attractions without booking ahead. The pass launches next week with prices ranging from $129 to $449 plus the cost of the ticket. Well, today, Silver Dollar City released plans to invest $500 million over the next decade on the park's biggest expansion. These plans include new family adventures, including the development of 1,200 acres adjacent to the Ozark Mountain theme park. And that's in addition to the debut of Silver Dollar City Resort, which will feature more than 200 guest rooms. The Silver Dollar City Resort is scheduled to open in late 2026. 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports is coming your way. Educators in Carl Junction shake up the school day with a lesson on earthquakes. Plus, with less than 3 weeks until the big day, the election catch game between the candidates continues.
Only at Roper Honda. You're watching the 4 States Most Watched News.
This is KOAM News at 9 on Fox 14. I'm Tanya Bach. Today, students in Carl Junction pause to take cover and practice how to stay safe during an earthquake. KOAM's Melissa Alexis shows us what they learned.
If like some of the roof comes down, we it hits our back and not our head.
Carl Junction students are some of the many students that participated in International Shakeout Day to raise awareness for earthquake safety.
We went under the table and we grabbed onto one of the bars and we put our hands on our head.
So ideally, you want them to get outside and be safe from anything that could fall on them. In the event that's not possible, we seek somewhere underneath a secure table or something that would be safe for them.
While most earthquake centers are to the southwest and east of the Joplin area, some residents have felt the shockwaves from one as recent as February 2024.
History would tell us that anytime you live east or western or near the Mississippi or Missouri River, it's possible that they could make their way to the Midwest. And we don't know what always underlies underneath our surfaces.
When instructions were given to students over the intercom, students went under their desk to practice what they would do if there was a real earthquake.
When there's an earthquake, we should put our hands on our head and get under the table.
Education is super important. Any academic procedures we put in place are important, but the number one job for us as a building is to ensure that when the parents drop their kids off, that their students are safe.
Shakeout Day is meant to remind people that they could be anywhere when an earthquake strikes, like at work or at school. And they want to make sure people have the tools to be prepared. Reporting in Carl Junction, Melissa Alexis, KOAM News.
Well, Shakeout Day began in California and has spread to other states and other countries. Well, some students in Joplin took the opportunity to build their future today. The Missouri Job Center's Southwest region set up shop in the old Macy's space at the North Park Mall to host the Build My Futures event. The event, the largest trade and manufacturing expo in Southwest Missouri, served as a way to present possible career opportunities for 8th grade through high school students.
Not every kid wants to go to college. Not every kid is ready to go into a specific medical or other type of field. So there's a lot of kids who want to do trade, and so this gives them that opportunity to learn more about it.
Well, the event featured more than 50 vendors and more than 800 students. Well, national polls show this presidential election is still a toss-up. But Kamala Harris is blowing Donald Trump out of the water when it comes to fundraising. As Fox's Rebecca Castor reports, the vice president and most Democratic candidates have the cash advantage in the final sprint to Election Day.
With less than 3 weeks until Election Day, the presidential campaigns are in hyperdrive. Everything from campaign stops and media interviews to attack ads and mudslinging are ramping up.
She's destroying our country. I don't want to use the word destroyed because that makes it sound like it can't come back, but it's awfully close.
You call Donald Trump, he's misguided. You say now
he's
unstable.
He is unstable.
The latest Fox News poll finds Donald Trump is ahead of Kamala Harris by 2 points. But the vice president is leading the cash game. Campaign finance reports show Harris and the Democratic Party raised $652 million between July and September. That's almost double what Trump and his GOP fundraisers brought in. But the former president is getting a boost from the world's richest man. Elon Musk donated $75 million to a Trump super PAC this summer.
I think this election, I think it's the most important election of our lifetime.
Cash is critical in races up and down the ballot. Finance reports also show many Democrats in competitive congressional races are outraising Republicans.
We continue to battle on the fundraising side, and these last couple weeks will be very, very important.
According to a New York Times report, Harris has raised $1 billion since entering the presidential race less than 3 months ago, making her the only presidential candidate ever to raise that much money that fast. In Washington, Rebecca Castor, Fox News.
Up next, Doug returns with a complete look at your forecast. And later, a Joplin Elementary School is honoring its cafeteria queens.
Wake up! The Culture and Spiva Center for the Arts.
Well, of course, it turned out to be a nice one for us today. Temperatures fantastic. Right around 70 degrees during the afternoon, which is pretty hard to beat. That's very typical mid-October weather, so looks like we're going to see nice conditions continuing over the next couple days. Great shot. This is our Cornell Arts and Entertainment Complex tower cam, of course, downtown Joplin. All right, drought tracker is updated, and all this red is not good. That's an extreme drought. We haven't had any rain in the month of October, and it'd be nice to get some. We don't have any in the near future. but we will be seeing those chances at least somewhat increase as we go into next week. All right, cooling down, not as cool as what we have seen over the past couple nights. We're not going to drop back into the 30s once again. But right now, it's been a little breezy out there. We've had those south winds at about 5 to 10 miles per hour. The winds are going to pick up a little bit as we go into the daytime hours for us tomorrow. And then as we head into Saturday, it's still going to stay breezy with those south winds, 15 to 20, upwards to about 25 miles per hour. Clear skies, that's what we're going to see for us tonight. In fact, nothing going on across the entire Central Plains. Here's our next storm system building out across the western third of the country. But watch this system. It takes its good old sweet time heading toward us. Just kind of meanders its way. It's what we call a cutoff flow. It's cut off from the main flow of the jet. But as it gets closer, this is going to be late Sunday, Monday. It's not going to have a lot of moisture. As it passes by to our north, it should give us a few random showers. That's really the best I can do for you at this point in time. All right, let me walk you through the next several days. Lower 40s by morning, quick warm up, near 70 by noon once we get into the afternoon, 74, 75, so a few notches warmer than what we did see today. Some clouds roll in tomorrow night, and we'll call it partly sunny skies on Saturday. Saturday looks pretty good as well. A little bit warmer, upper 70s by the time Saturday afternoon rolls around. All right, 46 in the morning, 67 by noon, high temp, 75. Let's jump into four-state Friday night high school football. We're going to be holding on to decent weather. This is like hoodie weather here, sliding back through the 60s into the 50s by the fourth quarter, but it's going to be pretty much clear skies, so it looks great. Let's go into Saturday. If you're heading to Carthage, of course, Maple Leaf is going on. Parade's at 9 a.m. So around parade time, we're going to be sitting into lower 50s, so a little chilly, but by 10, 65, 74 by the time we get into the noon hour. 75 on your Friday, 77 on Saturday, 79 on Sunday, and then very slight chances for rain. At least a few showers on Monday and Tuesday, but warmer for us next week.
Of course, the Carthage Maple Leaf Parade, not the only one going on this weekend. Pitt State has homecoming parade.
Yeah, that's true.
Same time, 9 a.m.
You're going to be at that one, right?
That's right.
All right.
All right, thanks, Doug. Well, coming up in sports, Miami High School softball plays in the 4A state tournament. Plus, Grove High School football tries to remain undefeated. John Dales has those stories and more up next.
We're here to help. We are the...
Pittsburgh State football hosts Fort Hays State this Saturday, and one of the biggest challenges facing the Gorillas coming into this season was replacing an All-American tight end. They brought in Will Huggins to do so, a transfer from KU who's felt very comfortable going from the Jayhawks to the Gorillas.
I felt like I did my time there, and I'm having a great time here. You know, I came on a visit here. I met Coach Ant, went on a visit with my buddy Jack and Barkley and Gaskell. And they showed me around, and it was a great time. It was an easy decision for me. You know, I've loved it here so far.
When you look at a transfer, you have to take a lot of things into account. You know, we don't just take transfers, you know, blindly without knowing. Will's situation is unique because his best friend was a wide receiver on our team. I mean, Jack Roberts and him grew up together. So when a kid like that comes to us, Jack, and says, "Hey, coach, I got this guy, KU," and he gives you the background, well, that holds a lot of weight to us.
Miami High School softball has earned its second trip to the state tournament in the past 3 seasons. Lady War Dogs begin state tournament play this evening. Miami meets Blanchard in the quarterfinal round of state. That's where the Lady War Dogs season comes to an end. They followed the Lions 12-2. Still plenty to be proud of. Miami finishes the season with a record of 22-4. Well, it's playoff time for Missouri High School softball as well. Class 5 District 7 tournament in Lee's Summit. Carthage has its season come to an end. Lady Tigers battle into the 11th inning against 2-seed Lee's Summit West, but fall 8-7. Elsewhere in that same tournament, Neosho beats Joplin 6-3. Wildcats go on to the semis, and Webb City and Lee's Summit are tied at 8 in the 11th inning. Another 11-inning game lasting deep into the night. Ray-Pec and Lee's Summit North still haven't started their game. That was scheduled for a 7 p.m. first pitch. No Friday night lights this week in Oklahoma. All our local schools from the Sooner State play their football games tonight instead of tomorrow. Really good battle this evening between the Grove Ridge Runners, a team that's undefeated, and the Miami War Dogs, who enter with a 4-2 record. Opening drive, Miami quarterback Sam Lillard rolls to his right. He completes a pass to Logan Sumapong, and that's a touchdown. War Dogs lead 7-0 on the road. Grove responds quickly. Gavin Wyatt hands this off to Ezra Gates. He dives across the goal line in for a touchdown. Grove ties it up. We're even at 7 apiece. We go to the second quarter, 4th and long for Miami. Instead of a field goal, War Dogs roll the dice and a trick play. Lillard connects with Chris Kelly. He stays in bounds and scores. Miami takes the lead right back. It's 14-7 War Dogs. Grove doesn't take long to respond yet again, though. Wyatt completes this short pass to Jacob Gain. He does the rest, takes it all the way into the end zone. This game came down to the final seconds, but Miami hangs on to win after the Grove misses a game-tying field goal attempt. War Dogs take it 31-28. Wyandotte Youth Football leads the Bears varsity high school team onto the field. They take on Salina tonight at home. Second play from scrimmage. Wyandotte on offense, and Hunter White keeps it on a read option. He sprints past the first line of defenders and keeps on running all the way to the end zone. Bears strike first. They lead 7-0. First Salina possession. Eli Swearer throws towards the sideline, off his receiver's hands, and intercepted by Avery Laughlin. Wildcats do tie it up at 7, though. Second quarter now, Bears in the red zone. They hand it off to Kason 3 up the middle. He bounces and spins off tackles till he gets in the end zone. Wyandotte back in front, 14-7. 4 minutes to go till halftime. Salina facing a 4th and 8. Swearer throws to the end zone. No receiver in the same area code. That's picked off by Evan Brown. He'll run it back 50 yards before getting tackled. Salina makes it tight down the stretch, but the Bears hang on for a 28-27 home win. That game right before that, Miami, that's a big win for them. They ended Grove's undefeated season.
Wow.
They did so on the road.
And that looked like it was a pretty active game.
Yeah, very much so.
A lot of fun. Thursday night football. It kind of feels like Friday night football weather, so I mean, it's perfect. Yeah, we'll take it. We're back with more news after this. Joplin's Soaring Heights Elementary served up a special shout out today in honor of National School Lunch Week. The school honored the women they call queens of the cafeteria. KOAM photojournalist Ty Parks joined the staff for a lunch on the high seas.
Got a mystery on our hands today. I'm trying to find me gold. One of two things happened to me gold. Either Jack Sparrow, Captain Jack Sparrow, stole me gold, or I dropped me whole bag of gold in the potatoes, and you have to eat all of your potatoes to find me gold at the bottom.
Celebrating what our ladies and gentlemen in the cafeteria do, and just kind of the healthiness of school lunches. We use this week to promote school lunch, so the healthiness of it and what it does for kids both inside and outside of the classroom. Principals and our teachers, our ladies try to get in there and talk to the kids and do fun things like this. So you'll see both principals here at Soaring Heights. They're both dressed up as pirates right now. Lots of times we'll talk to the kids about what they want to see on the menu, and whenever I can, I implement that kind of stuff for them. We have pretty strict nutrition standards, so we have to offer fresh fruits and vegetables, whole grains, meat alternatives, meat and meat alternatives, milk. But we have calorie restrictions low and high, so I work some fun things in there. I am a dietitian, so I work to make sure that we get those fun things, but not too much of those fun things. And honestly, kids love, especially those fresh fruits. So right now we're implementing a lot of commodity fresh fruits and vegetables. So we've been able to try things like watermelon and cantaloupe and kiwi and plums and just some of those unusual fruits that maybe kids don't get a lot of, and they really enjoy that. School lunch is nutritious. I know there's probably some things out there, social media, that maybe give school lunch a bad rap, but we're constantly working to improve it.
I got candy.
that we care what they think. We want to get their feedback. We want to know what they like and what they don't like, and ultimately that everybody in the school, including the lunch ladies and the lunch dudes that we like to call them in the cafeteria, care for them. And if they have any problems, anything they want to talk about, we're here just like their teachers or the administration is for them.
Shiver me timber, mateys, we've got a problem on our hands.
Well, tomorrow, the Soaring Heights queens of the cafeteria, or pirates as they were today, will be serving up cheese bites with marinara sauce for the kiddos. Tasty. Well, court is back in session with the return of The Lincoln Lawyer Season 3. Find out what's new in theaters and streaming after the break. A horror movie sequel and a vampire comedy are all part of this week's new releases. Here's Fox's Ashley Dvorkin.
Something really bad happened.
Horror fans, break out those ear-to-ear grins. Smile 2 is in theaters. The sequel stars Naomi Scott as a pop star on a world tour where eerie events escalate, forcing her to face her dark past to regain control of her life.
Could you watch the kids for me?
Michael Keaton and Mila Kunis star in Goodrich about a father learning many lessons in parenthood after his wife enters a 90-day rehab, leaving him with their 9-year-old twins and leaning on his daughter from his first marriage for help.
Let the games begin.
Anna Kendrick stars in and directs Netflix's 1970s set Woman of the Hour, about an aspiring actress in LA who crosses paths with a serial killer on an episode of a dating show.
Let's get to work.
Court is back in session on the streamer too with the return of The Lincoln Lawyer Season 3.
Why don't you try and stick to conventional therapy?
Apple TV Plus welcomes back the group of Shrinking for Season 2.
Let the conquest of the new world commence.
What We Do in the Shadows returns on FX next day on Hulu for a 6th and final season.
One of my favorite stories was getting to know Kayvon because I never had a chemistry read. I was supposed to have a chemistry read with Kayvon to see if Guillermo and Nando would mash. The first day on set, I walked on set and he just looked over and he goes, "Hey man!" and gave me this huge hug. And to this day, "Hey man" is what we say to each other in the morning when we see each other. So he'll walk by my trailer and he'll look at my window and go, "Hey man!" And then it's just like, I miss that because I don't have that again. You know, it's just like the show wraps, so I don't have that "Hey man," but he'll text me once in a while and goes, "Hey man!"
In Hollywood, Ashley Dvorkin, Fox News.
That's our time for tonight. Thanks for joining us. We'll leave you with video of a rhino family squashing pumpkins at the Portland, Oregon Zoo. Have a great night and an even better tomorrow.